SSH Presentation by John Cork. What is SSH? SSH stands for Secure Shell or Secure Socket Shell. In traditional internet communications, data is transmitted in clear text, which is highly insecure. SSH uses a client-server model to authenticate the two parties and encrypt the data that is being exchanged between them. This provides the ability to remotely log into a system and have full access to resources. How does SSH work? SSH works using the client-server model. To establish an SSH channel, the client and SSH server must first establish an encrypted channel. This is normally done using either password authentication, key authentication, or both. After the authentication process succeeds, the session is established and data is exchanged. What is SSH used for? SSH is used for secure remote access of resources, whether it be a server or system, remote execution of commands, ability to deliver software patches and updates. SSH keys can provide single sign-on capabilities, so users can move between accounts and applications without having to reauthorize. What port number does SSH use? The default port for SSH server is port 22. The SSH port can also be changed to another available port for enhanced security. It is advised to change the default port. All current connections will be disconnected when this occurs. History of SSH protocol. SSH was first created by Tatu Yolin in 1995 in response to a hacking incident. A packet sniffer had been installed to the main server, leaving thousands of usernames and passwords leaked. This incident triggered Tatu Yolin to study cryptography and develop a solution that was published in July 1995, which became OpenSSH. SSH on Windows. To install SSH on Windows, open Settings, navigate to Apps and Features, find Optional Features, click the Add a Feature button, and search for OpenSSH and install. SSH on Linux. To install the client component on an Ubuntu-based system, enter the following command: sudo apt install OpenSSH-client. To install the server component on the Ubuntu-based system, enter the following command: sudo apt install OpenSSH-server. After components are installed, SSH service should commence. Check service status with the following command: systemctl status sshd. SSH on macOS. macOS typically has the SSH client pre-installed on the system. To check, enter the following command: SSH-V. If you want to install a third-party application, such as OpenSSH, use the following command: brew install OpenSSH. How to connect via SSH. Open the command line or terminal window and run the following command: command username at host IP address. Provide the username and host IP address for this to work. If the username is the same as the local machine, omit the username from the command. To test SSH installation, create an SSH connection to the local host. Advantages of SSH. SSH is available for free, non-commercial use. SSH can offer multiple services using the same connection. SSH provides privacy of your data through strong encryption. SSH authenticates the proof of identity of senders and receivers. Disadvantages of SSH. SSH cannot protect users from attacks made through other protocols. SSH doesn't protect against Trojan horse attacks or viruses, SSH does not allow you to run GUI tools, or also known as graphic user interface tools. The SSH protocol is not entirely secure and can be exploited. What are the most common SSH clients? Here are some of the most common SSH clients. OpenSSH, most widely used SSH client in server system. It is open source and found on most Linux distributions. PuTTY, free and open source terminal emulator that's known for its simplicity and wide range of features. MobaXterm, a comprehensive tool that uses a multitude of remote computing functions. SSH hardening recommendations for Linux. Disable empty passwords. Modify SSH port at the configuration file and set permit empty passwords to no. Disable root login via SSH. Open the SSH configuration file and modify the permit root login option and set it to no. Disable SSH Protocol 1. Some older SSH versions might have SSH Protocol 1 available. This protocol has known vulnerabilities. Update regularly. To update Linux, use sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. Modify default SSH port. Modify SSH port at the configuration file and change port number to desired port and update changes using sudo system control reload SSHD. Disable X11 forwarding. Disable the X11 forwarding in SSH. Modify the SSH port at the configuration file and change X11 forwarding to no.